Hey everyone, Mike Evans here. We're at the Commodity Classic 2026. I'm with Calibre Agronomy. We're in the XtremeAg booth. I'm with Austin Cook from EarthOptics, and the show's winding down. Um, and he came over here, Austin, and kind of want to explain to the audience what EarthOptics, where it came from, where it is today, and kind of where you guys are headed, and how did EarthOptics kind of come to be?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. First off, you know, EarthOptics is a combination of two companies that started both in 2018,
Okay.
and they both had a mission about um, how can we produce a crop more efficiently um, and be more productive with what we have. So, with EarthOptics, we're a soil intelligence company. We utilize predictive agronomy, looking at different soil mapping functions from a physical, chemical, and biological standpoint. We're based out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and
Okay.
we got ag labs in Memphis, Tennessee, Emeryville, California, and Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Okay.
And then we have a hardware lab in Raleigh, North Carolina. So we're kind of spread throughout the country, but our headquarters is in Minneapolis.
So you're in the heart of the Midwest.
Yep.
Ish.
Ish. Main coverage area is the Midwest,
Yep. Yep.
and we cover stuff on the East Coast. Done some projects on the West Coast for agronomy, but our main service area is the Midwest.
Yep.
But we're always getting more partners, kind of in those fringe areas
Yeah.
of where we don't have an active service network.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you were Pattern Ag, EarthOptics.
Yep.
Formed to be EarthOptics.
Correct.
So the Pattern Ag was more the biological soil testing side.
Yeah, I would say the science, the lab, the DNA, that was kind of Pattern Ag.
Yep.
And then what EarthOptics brought to the table was their technology.
Okay.
So the ground owl, the ADCP, being able to have very high resolution, spatial, and like very active maps.
Okay.
And the nice thing about those is like we talk about VRT all the time, and we can have a very nice variable rate application map with the maps that are provided with the ground owl paired with physical soil samples.
So the ground owl, it's just not a bird out there running around,
No.
right? it's a apparatus put on a side by side.
Yep.
And it's scanning the
Correct.
soil, right?
Correct. So the ground owl is an EMI bar, so it's electromagnetic induction.
Okay.
And just really think of it as like a very expensive metal detector.
Yeah. Isn't the tech kind of something used on Mars too?
Yeah, kind of
Yeah,
in space. So, but the nice thing is like it's looking at all the different changes in connectivity throughout that whole soil profile. We run in a 60-foot wide swath, and then we can tie that to physical soil samples that we pull at grid points throughout that field. And then when we tie that data together, it generates those high resolution 1,000 square foot grid maps. And one of the cool things about the tech is we utilize machine learning. So every acre that we go over, it only makes every map after that more accurate and repeatable. So kind of feeds into that cloud, that system in the database, where every acre that we get, it gets better.
Gotcha. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So how long has that isn't nothing new? You guys have been doing it for a couple 3 years, right? The ground owl.
Yeah. So we've been a company for 2018, and EC, EMI, connectivity, that's kind of been tech that's been used for over 20, 30 years.
Okay.
I would say like with what we're doing at EarthOptics, it's not new, but we're bringing a new twist to it. So like the machine learning aspect really helps the accuracy because we can tie that to, guys might pull a half-acre grid point and cost $50 an acre.
Okay.
We can get the same level of resolution, reduce that lab cost by only going every 10 acres, but having that good output of high resolute data.
Gotcha. So where you guys we're at 2026.
Yep.
You've got a good we do a lot of work with you, and where do you see like this tech going? Like what you guys are doing, or what's the next frontier? Mm-hmm. Is it more of the ground owl piece, or more of the biology? Is it encompassing of all? Where are you guys headed?
We're really focused on improving ROI at that farmer level.
Okay.
And what I see from the agronomy standpoint is a case of where on the DNA side, we can really tie it and dial it to let's say, hey, you have X amount of pressure, you're going to lose Y amount of yield. Or there's an opportunity
You're
for
talking like pressure pathogen loads in the soil.
pathogen loads or biofertility. Like
Okay.
where I see like in 5 years is having the ability to say, you know, this is what the soil test is. You're most likely going to lose this much bushels per acre because of X, Y, or Z. Or we have the opportunity to gain that with some kind of product.
Yeah.
So I think product placement will only be more enhanced
Okay.
the further we get along.
That's pretty exciting.
So, but from a tech standpoint, I don't know on like the ground owl, or I think that's only going to get more detailed, and we can maybe take less samples down the road because of the database. If it gets large enough, we might be able to pull larger than 10 acre grid points. But you know, we're not there today.
Yeah.
So
what are, like, you work with growers, go to a lot of these kind of shows. What are their experiences? What's the feedback from using like ground owl and the biology stuff? What are you getting for feedback?
A lot of good feedback. So the biology, that's kind of where I started. It's been really cool where, you know, we might say, hey, we have a super low AMF level.
Okay.
And we've been able to figure out a product to place there, and we saw a nice yield response. And on that flip side, just like having guys that, you know, certain guys are saying, hey, I really can't break that 60 bushel an acre soybean barrier. And they come in, we test their soil, and then we find out they have SDS pressure, SCM pressure that they didn't know about because it wasn't symptomatic, but it was holding them back.
Gotcha.
So we were able to kind of alleviate that with a seed treatment and see a nice response where, you know, they didn't see it in the field, but then we saw it on the test and we were able to mitigate that.
Gotcha.
And then from the nutrient standpoint, you know, being able to really define that variable rate technology and, you know, being able to understand maybe we don't need to do a flat rate across the whole field if we have very, very sufficient levels, and just kind of fix on those areas that are a little bit lower. So that's been really good. Just, you know, when we were talking last fall, I think 950 MAP, we had really high commercial fertilizer prices. You know, that's where the VRT, you know, this last year was really paying off. Guys were like, wow, this saved me $50 an acre, like just because of my grower standard. So I think it allows us to understand when we tie like the biology with the nutrients, understand where can we cut back and not just pulling the trigger immediately.
More educated plan.
More educated plan for sure.
Yeah. What? So I'm, you know, we can sell with a lot of guys, but like a grower, where do they start in this process with EarthOptics? What's the kind of the first place they need to go look at?
So when I talk to a farmer or when we're talking to growers, where we should start, I always say we need to have a lot of data for your farm. So like starting out with your worst field, your best field, and then I would like to have like 3 fields in there. If we're going to get 5 fields, that's a great start. I have guys that they want to do a bunch of fields. Like they want to learn a lot of data. But I think just 5, if we can get, you know, let's say a guy's kind of spread out, we can do stuff, you know, way over here, way over there, and kind of everything in between. But having multiple data and seeing, hey, what's working on this really good farm? What's holding us back on this bad farm? And then, you know, where can we tweak on the in-betweens?
Well, I like it because like we were talking earlier today of like the more fields you get in there, the bigger scope you get, and the more you can manage everything in a holistic approach. Instead of just taking like an 80-acre field, like maybe that 80, to your point of like that 80-acre field is just the best field and it don't show you anything. Well, you're like, well, this doesn't do me any good. But to your point, I think it's great because like take your best field, take the thing that you're going, gosh, I wish I could do better, right? And try to blend it out.
Well, and that's kind of, you know, when we talk about having multiple fields, I came from the seed industry. And what really drove me to doing this is, you know, look at hybrids. You might have a hybrid that did really, really phenomenal in a field over here. And you go over here and it kind of lets you down. So like my whole thing was, okay, why did that hybrid do so well over here and really horrible over here? And that was kind of just looking at all the different pests. What's our pest level? What's our pathogen level? Can we mitigate this with seed treatment or in furrow? I really have a hard time believing that's a bad hybrid because it did so poorly over there. I think there's something environmentally that
Yep.
held us back, and that's kind of the passion for me going into this industry.
That's a great example. I know exactly what you're talking about. You have the
Yep.
same hybrid, and you're like, well, this is 20 bushel less. And, you know, why happened? It's same
Yep.
fertility and everything, and it's the hidden problems,
Yeah.
the biology and all that stuff. So, if anybody wants to gain more information,
Yeah, they can visit us at our website. It's earthoptics.com, or you can reach out to one of your local dealers or distributors.
he's Austin Cook with EarthOptics. I'm Mike Evans from Calibrated Agronomy. We're at the XtremeAg booth in Commodity Classic, and we will see you next time.